It's the last night of your life. You know this because they told you, not cruelly, almost calmly. The priest who washed your wounds, the woman who brought you food, the guard who placed a fresh cotton garment on your sleeping mat. They all treated you with a strange, precise kindness. Tomorrow, at sunrise, you will climb 114 steps to the top of the Templo Mayor, and there, in front of 10,000 people, your heart will be cut from your chest while it is still beating. You are an Aztec warrior. You were captured in battle 3 weeks ago, and tonight, in the greatest city on earth, you are the most important person alive. This is Tenochtitlan. The year is 1450, and what is about to happen here is unlike anything history has ever seen. Not because it is brutal, but because the people doing it genuinely believe the world will end without it. Tonight, we follow the last 24 hours of a captured warrior inside the Aztec Empire. What he sees, what he eats, what the city smells like, why the priests are crying, and why, by the end, he may not want to escape even if he could. Before we follow our warrior to his last night, you need to understand where he is. Tenochtitlan in 1450 is not a jungle village. It is a city of 200,000 people, larger than London, larger than Paris, larger than any city in Spain or Portugal. It sits on an island in the middle of a lake, connected to the mainland by 3 wide causeways, each wide enough for 10 men to walk side by side. From a distance, the first thing travelers reported was the color. White. Everything is white. The plastered buildings, the temple walls, the causeways, blazing white in the Mexican sun, rising out of the blue water of Lake Texcoco like a vision. Then the smell hits you. The Aztecs are obsessed with cleanliness by the standards of any civilization on Earth in 1450. Thousands of workers sweep the streets every morning. There are public latrines along the main roads. Human waste is collected by canoe and sold as fertilizer. Yet, underneath the incense that burns constantly from the temple platforms, copal resin, a thick, sweet smoke, there is something else. The smell of the market. The Tlatelolco market, just north of the main temple, operates every day and draws 60,000 people. Cacao beans, dried chili, live turkeys in wooden cages, rubber, jade, obsidian blades so sharp they make modern steel scalpels look crude. Our warrior was brought here along the southern causeway bound but not blindfolded. The Aztecs wanted him to see. They wanted him to understand exactly where he was and what was going to happen. He is a Tlaxcalan, a warrior from one of the city-states that refuses to submit to Aztec rule. He was captured during what the Aztecs call a flower war, Xochiaoyotl, a formalized battle fought not to kill, but to take prisoners. Both sides agreed to fight. Both sides sent their best warriors. And when our man was finally wrestled to the ground, pinned and disarmed, the Aztec warrior who captured him did not kill him. He whispered in his ear, "You are mine now, and the sun needs you." To understand what is about to happen, you have to understand what the Aztecs believe about the universe. Because without this, none of what follows makes any sense. The Aztecs believe the world has already ended 4 times. 4 suns, 4 ages, each destroyed by catastrophe. The first sun was eaten by a jaguar. The second was swept away by wind. The third burned in a rain of fire. The fourth drowned in a flood. We are living in the 5th sun. And the 5th sun is fragile. The sun, Tonatiuh, requires human blood to keep moving across the sky. Without it, he will stop. The sky will go dark. Earthquakes will tear the earth apart. The star demons, the Tzitzimime, will descend from the heavens and devour every human being alive. This is not metaphor. This is cosmology. The Aztec priests have calculated the cycles of the sun, the moon, Venus. They know that every 52 years, the calendar completes a full cycle, and if no new fire is lit on the chest of a sacrificed captive on the last night, the sun may simply not rise. This means that human sacrifice is not murder. It is maintenance. It is paying the debt that keeps existence running. The captive warrior is not a victim. He is, in the most literal sense the Aztecs can conceive, the fuel that powers the world. And our warrior knows this. He was raised in a civilization that shares enough of this cosmological framework to understand the logic, even if he doesn't fully accept it. He has heard what happens to warriors who weep or beg. They are mocked, remembered as weak, their names erased. He has also heard what happens to warriors who face it without flinching. They are honored, sung about. Their captor will wear their image on his battlesuit. So when the priests come for him on the last night, he stands up straight. The sun sets over Tenochtitlan at around 6 in the evening. Our warrior is being held in a special chamber near the base of the Templo Mayor, the great double pyramid that dominates the city's center. Its twin shrines dedicated to Huitzilopochtli, god of war and the sun, and Tlaloc, god of rain. The pyramid is 60 meters high. On a clear day, you can see its twin red and blue shrines from miles across the lake. The chamber is not a dungeon. The floors are swept. There is a sleeping mat, a ceramic bowl with water, a small clay brazier with burning copal. He has been here for 3 weeks. He has been fed twice a day: maize tortillas, bean stew, occasionally dried meat and cacao drink. He has not been starved or broken. The Aztecs need him to walk up those stairs tomorrow under his own power.
Well, this is certainly a memorable
Tonight
vacation
is
spot.
different. As the sky goes from orange to dark purple, priests arrive. Not the senior ones, but younger men, their faces painted black, their long hair matted with dried blood that they never wash out. They bring him a bowl of pulque, fermented agave drink, thick and slightly sour, and a clay pipe packed with tobacco mixed with liquid amber. He drinks. He smokes. The Aztecs are not trying to get him drunk. The pulque is ceremonially offered, and refusing it would be an insult to the gods. The tobacco is thick and hits fast, not a gentle buzz, but a heavy, floating pressure behind the eyes. Then the painting begins. 2 women enter. These are not temple prostitutes or servants. They are ritual specialists. For the next 2 hours, they paint his entire body. His face is divided. 1/2 red, 1/2 black and yellow stripes. His arms painted in the pattern of the jaguar warrior. His chest marked with the symbol of his divine role. A blue and white circle representing the cycle of the sun. They do not speak while they paint. Neither does he. The only sound is the crackle of the brazier and, far above, the distant sound of drums beginning on the pyramid top. When they finish, one of the women looks at him directly, which is unusual, a breach of protocol, and says something he doesn't fully understand. Later, his captor's son will translate it. She said, "You have been chosen because you are beautiful." He doesn't know how to feel about that. Midnight in Tenochtitlan. The city does not sleep on sacrifice nights. This is one of the great festivals, Tlaxcalan, the feast of the flaying of men, held in the 2nd month of the Aztec solar calendar. Every neighborhood has its own smaller ceremonies running. Fires burn on every rooftop platform. Women are weaving in courtyards by firelight. Children who should be asleep are watching through window gaps. The drums from the Templo Mayor are constant. A deep, chest-level thudding from the great Huehuetl drum, a cylinder carved from a single trunk, its skin the stretched hide of a jaguar. You can feel it in your sternum from 500 meters away. Our warrior sits alone in his chamber. He is thinking about his mother. We know this, not because of his specific account, but because captured warriors across Mesoamerican accounts described the same thing. In their final hours, they think about home. Not because they are weeping. They are trained not to weep, but because the mind, when given silence and no way out, always goes back to the beginning. He grew up in Tlaxcalan, 120 kilometers east of here, in the shadow of the volcanoes. His mother made the best tamales in their neighborhood, masa stuffed with turkey and chili, wrapped in corn husks and steamed for hours. His father was a merchant. He had 2 younger brothers. He was married at 18. He has a son he has never seen. His wife was pregnant when he left for the Flower War 3 months ago. He will never know if it was a boy or a girl. He does not ask the guard to send a message. He was told he could in the first week.
Well, this is certainly a memorable vacation
spot. He did not want his wife to read words written in captivity. At around 2 in the morning, his captor arrives. This is the man who took him. A senior Aztec eagle warrior named Itzcoatl something. Our sources don't preserve the full name. He sits across from our warrior in the firelight. The 2 men look at each other. The Aztec speaks first. He says, "I will wear your image on my battlesuit, in your honor." The Tlaxcalan says nothing for a long moment. Then he says, "Make sure you wash the blood off first." Both men almost laugh. Not quite. The captor leaves. Our warrior lies on his mat and watches the smoke from the brazier curl upward through the ceiling, gap toward the stars. He does not sleep. Before dawn, the city is already in motion. The main plaza of Tenochtitlan, the Zocalo, as we would call it today, is the largest urban square in the world in 1450. It stretches 200 meters on each side, surrounded by the skull rack, the ball court, the palace of the great speaker, and, of course, the Templo Mayor. Tonight it is filled with people. Tens of thousands pressed together in the darkness, torches everywhere, the air thick with incense smoke and the smell of bodies. At the base of the pyramid, the other captives. There are not just one sacrifice today. There are dozens. Some sources for larger festivals describe hundreds, but for our warrior, those others are irrelevant. He cannot see their faces in the torchlight. He is aware of them as sounds, shuffling feet, one man somewhere praying in a language he doesn't recognize. The priests come for him at first light. Not rough, not running. They walk at a ceremonial pace. 2 of them take his arms, not gripping, just guiding. There is an older priest in front with a fan of green and gold feathers who will lead the procession. He walks out of the chamber and into the plaza. The crowd is silent for 3 seconds. Then the drums begin again, louder. The crowd parts, and for the first time since his capture, he sees the Templo Mayor in its full scale from the front. 114 steps. Almost vertical. Each step half a meter tall, stained dark at the edges despite the constant cleaning. At the top, lit by the first pale light of dawn, the twin shrines, blue and red, the twin homes of the sun and rain. He begins to climb. He does not run. He does not need to be pushed. He climbs steadily, 1 step at a time, 114 steps, and with each step the view of the city expands behind him. By the time he reaches the top, he can see the entire lake, the causeways, the mountains, the 2 volcanoes, Popocatépetl smoking slightly in the east, the sun cracking the horizon. He stands on the top platform of the highest point in the Americas in 1450. The wind is cold up here. Below him, 200,000 people. Above him, nothing but sky. What happens next? We know in detail from both Aztec codices and the accounts of Spanish observers who arrived 70 years later. Men who watched and described ceremonies they found simultaneously horrifying and, in their own words, impossibly organized. It takes less than a minute, and then it is over. The Aztecs believed that the warrior's soul, his Tlaxcalan, did not die. Warriors sacrificed to the sun became hummingbirds and butterflies, companions of Tonatiuh in his daily journey across the sky. For 4 years, they would escort the sun from east to west. Then they would be reborn. His body was given to his captor, Itzcoatl, who took it home and prepared a ritual meal. This is one of the most misunderstood elements of Aztec practice. It was not cannibalism in any sense we would recognize. It was a communion, consuming the flesh of a being who had become sacred, in the same way that many cultures consume what they consider holy substances. The emotion around it was described by participants as grief combined with reverence, not hunger. His skin was flayed and worn for 20 days by priests during the rest of the festival. This is the flaying of Tlaxcalan. It represented the renewal of the earth, the shedding of the old skin to reveal the new. His skull went to the Tzompantli, the skull rack just north of the temple. When the Spanish arrived in 1519, they counted what they estimated to be 130,000 skulls on that rack, though modern archaeologists working at the site now believe the real number, while still enormous, was lower. The Templo Mayor was excavated beginning in 1978, after a construction worker accidentally hit a stone carved with the image of the dismembered moon goddess. That dig is still running. They have found hundreds of sacrificial offerings: jaguar bones, eagle bones, coral, obsidian, children, warriors, the bones of people who were brought from hundreds of kilometers away. Every object placed with deliberate meaning, every burial oriented toward the sun. The last thing our warrior saw from the top of that pyramid was the sun rising over the mountains. He had kept the world alive for one more day. That is what he believed, and in the civilization that placed him at the top of the world's greatest temple, at the exact moment the sun broke the horizon, for that one morning, in that one city, he was the most important human being on the planet. Tenochtitlan was destroyed by Hernán Cortés and his allies in 1521, 70 years after the morning we just witnessed. The causeways were torn down. The Templo Mayor was demolished and a cathedral built on top of it. The lake was drained over the following centuries. Mexico City now sits on that dried lake bed, which is why it sinks about 9 centimeters per year. But the Templo Mayor is still there, underneath. You can visit it. You can stand where our warriors stood 500 years later and look out over a city of 22 million people that grew from the ruins of the one he helped sustain. The fifth sun is still rising, for now. If you want to see what this city looked like from the streets, the markets, the canals, the daily life of the people who built it,
this is certainly a memorable vacation spot.
Is in the description. And if this is the first time you've watched this channel, subscribe. Every week, we go somewhere history forgot to tell you about.